Let me just do this again. Alright, yeah. Wait. Ooh, yeah.
Go.
Okay, so my name's Nicole Davis. So I did a presentation on the research and then a strategy that I came up with in terms of our social media and our MailChimp as well. So the first bit, the research, obviously I do a lot of the scheduling, so I know a lot of the stuff anyway. We schedule 4 times a day, which is at 8 a.m, 12, 5 and 7, because they're the times that we think we're getting the most likes and getting the most attention. So this graph is over, it's meant to be over 2 weeks, it's 15 days, but it's over 2 weeks. The blue line means the impressions that we got for that day, and then the grey lines that you can see at the bottom show the amount of tweets. So it's not really that good because it doesn't give you any actual figures, but you can kind of get the gist. So usually the blue and the grey lines correlate, so if you can see, I'll just get up and show you. So like this one here, there's obviously a lot of impressions versus a lot of tweets. There's one on November the 6th, which is here, and you can see that there are not that many tweets. I think there was only 4 tweets. Obviously the impressions are really high, so I looked into that day, and all of the tweets that we did were things like, I don't know, mouses have got long tails, or well, not literally, but they're informative tweets, so that was really interesting to see. So that's my research from Twitter that I found out. Are there any questions? Or should I do that at the end?
Yeah, do that at the end.
At the end, okay, sorry, didn't know. So this is then the strategy that I came up with. So this is a small graph that I did, which picked out some tweets that was done over that 2-week period that I looked at, and then it shows you how many retweets, how many likes we got, and then the time that it went out. So I tried to include one that came from at least each of the 4 times that I said. Looking at that, obviously that's only 6 tweets out of loads that we do, so it's kind of hard to see whether or not, like the times, that there's one there that was at 12:16, that's got 5 retweets and 4 likes, so that's quite a lot in comparison to the top one, but I probably need to look into it a little bit more, because then there's one there at 8:42 that got 0 retweets and 2 likes, so I'd probably need to delve into that a little deeper to see which times actually get the most attention, if that makes sense. But all of the tweets there, I think, are all something to do with, like, did you know, or have a go. There aren't any there that are really like, come to this event, so maybe I should look into that a little bit more. But in terms of the strategy, what I thought is I'm quite happy with what we're doing at the moment, happy with the times, happy with the kind of content that's going out. What I'd like to do is go into the stores and get, we did one, well no, you did one, there was a Facebook post about a hidden object and we didn't know what it was. So I think doing things like that and getting more collections that I haven't looked at yet. Because at the moment, all the collections that I'm tweeting about I've done once before, so it'd be nice to get some new stuff to look at. So yeah, that's that. Facebook research. So Facebook is really annoying. You can either look at the analytics from the day that we're on, yesterday, a week, or a month. So there wasn't 2 weeks, which is what I'd been asked. So I just did it over a week, because I thought 4 weeks might be quite a lot to look at. So everything looks good, everything's up, apart from page views. I discussed this with Emma earlier. There are 2 ideas that I have about it. One is that I looked at this on Monday, so I thought that it might obviously be less than the previous week because it's just on one day. That's not scientific though, so don't look at me like that. That was just what I thought it might be. I don't know or not. But then we're actually discussing something interesting, which is that page views might be down because when you go on Facebook, you're scrolling through your news feed. So you'll scroll through and be like, oh, someone's posted a status, oh, someone's selling a pair of jeans, but you won't actually go and click on their profile because all the information is in that post. So that's a theory that I talked about, which I thought was pretty cool. The things that we do on Facebook at the moment are every quarter when the What's On comes out, I'll go through and choose events that I think are worth tweet about, that I think are worth posting about, or it might be something that we really need to sell or we really need to push, so that's generally what we put on Facebook. I always post things at 6 o'clock on Facebook, and to be honest, I don't really know why. That's just what I always do. Whenever I post things on Facebook, I always schedule it for 6. So
PM.
as part of my strategy, which obviously I'll go into in a minute, something that I was going to look at is probably doing different times on Facebook and then watching which ones do well when. Because sometimes if like the lift breaks, I'll just tweet that at like 9 in the morning when we first find out, and that always does quite well. So maybe looking at morning tweets, morning posts might be better. And I also wrote something here, which isn't on there, about, I looked into some of the posts that we've done in the past week, and one was about Super Saturday, which is just like a family event across the 3 sites, obviously you guys know that. And that reached 837 people, and then it got 25 clicks and 24 reactions. And then I looked at another one, which was about the treasure, which is an object that comes out every 2 months, and it's really cool, and people can come and look at it, basically. And that got 982 people that reached, so that's Saturday. But then the clicks and the reactions were less. So that kind of shows that what we're posting on Facebook is right for Facebook, so posting just about events and just about activities, because that gets more clicks and reactions. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. That was quite a big mouthful then, but that's what I'm trying to say. So the strategy. Oh, okay, so I only put 2 of those up because obviously the posts are quite long and I couldn't fit it all on the page. So this just shows 2 different Facebook posts. So one is about a vintage fair that we've got coming up, and then the other one is about, it's about what I was just on about actually. It's about something that we found in the stores. They're both unpaid, just because at the time a paid post that we've done was a long time ago and I wanted it to be fairly recent. And so that just shows again what I was talking about, that the difference between reach and likes and shares. Facebook strategy, as I said before, that I'd like to experiment with different times and also doing maybe more paid posts if possible. Obviously, I know not all the time, but even just once a month, just to see how that then impacts on the people that are following us, page views, likes, just if it's actually better for us just to do one, but then deciding on what they're going to be as well. Like, would we want to boost ones about objects, so people are like, wow, the Silk Mill's got loads of engines, or would it be about events? I don't know. But that's kind of my strategy idea. Okay, so yeah, the MailChimp one was a bit hard because we don't really do very many MailChimps. So these aren't over 2 weeks, these are just the 2 recent ones. One's about Christmas party at the Silk Mill, and one is about children's TV exhibition. It's a bit difficult because the Christmas party one was sent out to the corporate mailing list, and that's got significantly less people than the one that that the children's TV got sent out to. But it showed that it's always so wordy. It showed that the children's TV one was above industry average in everything. So that's really good. Even though it says that only like 61 people clicked the link out of however many, but it's above industry average according to my research, so that's good. And then the Silk Mill one didn't do as well. I was thinking about it, and I'm not really sure why it didn't, but because the children's TV one was about the children's TV, and then it had lots of like, come to this event, and it was really, really long, so I thought that it definitely should be shortened down in the future, because it's a lot, and I know from my experience I don't want to be scrolling through all of this stuff and I won't pay attention to any of it. Whereas the Silk Mill one was really short, so I don't know if maybe it was too soon for Christmas parties, or I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure why it didn't do as well, because it didn't hit the industry average, it was just below on all of them. So there we go. So that just shows what I said in the other one. So the open rate, and did I write down? There. So the industry open rate is 27.4%. So as you can see, children's TV is up there and the masquerade balls up. So that's something to be looked at. But my strategy is just going to be maybe doing more frequent ones as well, and maybe the Christmas party one could have been sent out to master email. I'm not too sure, but that's more of a technical thing that I can't decide. But it might have got some more attention. But yeah, I think that we should do MailChimps more, maybe once a month instead of just whenever. That, I mean, like, I get emails from Paper Chaser every week, which that's a little bit annoying, but I think once a month is quite nice, and then it just reminds people that you're there and that you're doing things, so, yeah. And I think that's it. Is that it? That's it.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Alright, so questions.
Am I okay to go first? Is that
Of course.
all right? Can we go back to Twitter, please?
Or the
Back
next
one,
sorry.
yeah. You mentioned a little bit about kind of those tweets. Which were the tweets that had done particularly well? Like the one furthest to the right, the one where there wasn't that many. Yeah.
You might not be able to see it very clearly. This is just a screenshot, but yeah, this dude here.
Yeah. So you didn't put many tweets out, but you got lots of impressions on there. So what did you? Do you know exactly? Have you got it there? What exactly you tweeted? Because obviously that whatever happened on that day.
Because obviously
that was something obviously quite effective that obviously worked.
I don't know if you two both know, but this presentation is based on 2 assignments that I've done. So in the I know that this isn't helpful now, but in the assignments I think I did write what exact tweets I've done, but just because obviously they were like 6 pages, so I don't have them specifically, but I do have them elsewhere that I can look at.
But it'd be good, I think, in the strategy, it'd be good to sort of look into there and go, like, what did you... Because really have a look at that day, because that obviously shows an anomaly, and you need to look, you know, it's a bit sciencey for what we're doing, but have a look at anomalies and say, right, why, if it's a bad anomaly, why is that? And, you know, sweep it under the bed and go, oh, it was just an anomaly. Yeah. But if it's a good anomaly, then you really look at it and go...
October the 29th is good as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. Both of those are good.
You know, so what is it about those 2 days? You know, was it the content of the tweet? You know, what was it the fact that it was something more interesting, engaging, and were some of those other ones actually, yes, just buy a cup of coffee at the cafe? And that would be the thing that I think would be quite interesting to dig a bit deeper into. Yeah.
I think on the Twitter all the strategies, what would be nice is to see an aim. So what as an organisation are you trying to do? So what were your, you know, as Twitter, when you're putting tweets out, what are your aims? Are you trying to get people through the door? Is that if I had a magic wand and I could say, right, your social media will do this, will it be we want people through the door?
Ultimately, yes. That is really what we're trying to do is get more people to come to the museum. You know, and it is one of the ways that we do that is
in order to get money off them and to be engaged.
Yeah, to add to our visitor numbers, yes, to get them come to the cafe, come to the shop. Once they're through the door, hopefully they'll engage with us a bit more, and we will get some. Yeah, we are trying to monetize them in some way, and that's one of the ways.
Well, and then once they're through the door, marketing's done its job really. Then it's up to your cafe and your salespeople on that sort of side of things. Is that's there. So I think one of the things that you might need to look at, possibly later on, I know you're going away, but is return of investments. How do you know who is coming through because of social media, and who is coming through because of emails, and who is coming through because of Facebook? And then we call that ROI, return of investment. So you talked about doing paid things in Facebook. So you need to have a think about, if we are going to pay for it, then great, because it isn't expensive. It's a really cheap way to boost it up. But then, are you getting your money's worth? So, how much does the average person spend? So, if they come through and spend £4 each, let's say, just off the top of my head, and you spend £8, you need to make sure that the social media brings in 3 people, because then, in theory, you've got your money back and you've got a bit of profit, which is what it's all about. So how you do that is really difficult, really. Because it's either somebody sitting at the front getting people to say, how did you hear about this?
We have done something like that, because we've got the Children's TV exhibition on at the moment, and there's a volunteer in there who goes up to all the visitors, comes in and says, can you fill this in? How did you hear about us? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, road sign, whatever.
Yeah, so we are trying to look at all different channels and saying how people, because we tried some, other than the digital stuff, we've done some other sort of, more traditional marketing that we haven't done before. So we're trying to see really where people are finding out about what we do. But a lot of people don't remember, as well. And that's the other thing. You try and be scientific about it, but you can't always be, because sometimes how many times do people see something before they actually make an impression as well? It's quite difficult to know.
I think with sorry, go on.
No, can.
Oh, I was just going to say that I think with museums as well, like obviously, I'm not from here, but in Coventry, you know,